Welcome to the podcast that shows you how to have success in life. In this podcast, we are going to find out the barriers that block us from being successful. I will use some questions to make you think why things happen the way they do. We will see that we are fighting against something considered a natural force. The force is so big that even those with a lot of information or intellectuals are not able to beat it. Let's get to it. What are the barriers that block us from success? Since 2005, I have been searching for the reasons why few people are successful while most are not. I said since 2005 because that was the year my awareness was raised, and which eventually gave me a vision of what to do. This vision liberated me from the fear of failure. At the time, my strongest desire was to have a doctorate degree in engineering, which was my area. The failure that I was afraid of was related to the impossibility that I might not have my desired degree. However, I was able to go over it, made it with a lot of difficulty. In that year, 2005, I came to realize the reasons why many people are struggling. But, before I go further to narrate the story, I would like you to ask yourself this question. Why are many people not successful? Yes, I know many will give different answers to this question, however, the main reason is not well understood. I know that some will say they are not successful because their parents were poor, others will even blame the politicians, while the rest will put blame on the external factors. I know it will be difficult to convince the respondents that, although their reasons may contribute to it, none of the answers above is the main cause of the problem. If these reasons were to be the main cause of not being successful, why are other people under similar situations making it? During my studies, I discovered that all human beings are held back by a strong force. Although some have the ability to overcome this force, many people do not. I have come to realize that those who are able to overcome this force have no limit in their lives. They can go to any level. This force is a natural challenge for all human beings. I say a natural challenge because human beings are the only creatures on earth which are given the power to make decisions. In other words, they are the only creatures with powers to decide what they want, where they want to be or where they want to go. But, is the above force the same as the one holding the most intelligent teacher or professor from having his or her own school? Is it the same that does not allow the best doctors to open their own hospitals? Or the one even restricting excellent journalists from owning television stations? Is it the same force that blocks many engineers from have engineering companies? Or not permitting many financial professionals from owning their own banks? What about people on welfare who do not want to lose their privilege, even if they have the possibility of finding something better? The examples go on and on and on. The greatest natural force to which every human being must fight against in order to become successful is that of equilibrium. Equilibrium is defined by dictionary as a state of balance. It is incredible that the principle of equilibrium is used in science courses, such as biology, chemistry, biochemistry, physics, etc. In engineering, a system is said to be in equilibrium if it can spend the least amount of energy. This is referred as to the concept of minimum energy. The minimum energy concept can also be verified in practice, because all natural processes have this tendency. For example, a river flows through a path where it spends the minimum energy. Now, let's bring the minimum energy concept to human beings. But, before I go on, let me ask you this question. Why do people prefer watching movies or television programs instead of getting the same information from books? Or let me put it in another way. Why is it that many people do not like reading books? The reason is simple. One spends minimum energy when watching television, but spends a lot of energy when reading books. No natural process, including human beings, like to spend energy. In a simple language, equilibrium force, or minimum energy, is the natural force that blocks many people from being successful. I know the question you will be asking me now is, but, how does it occur? Equilibrium force or minimum energy is a force that keeps the subconscious mind in harmony or keeps it comfortable with the information it has already got. Since equilibrium is synonymous to minimum energy, it can be inferred that subconscious mind in equilibrium means the same thing as being in a low energy level. The low energy level demands least work from the subconscious mind, and that is why one feels more comfortable. This may probably be the origin of the word comfort zone. However, the subconscious mind also has the ability to operate in a higher energy level if it is activated. So, many people are not successful because they operate on low energy level. Working on a higher energy level, or fighting against nature, is what brings success. However, going from the low energy level to higher energy level requires activation of the subconscious mind. Some examples of the forces that activate the subconscious mind are strong vision, images, etc. It is because of this that motivational speakers tell you to have a vision of what you want or visualize the things you want for your life. However, the vision or image has to be strong enough to generate the desire in you. In order to keep your vision on track, you need to set goals. Again, this is the reason why motivational speakers will tell you to set your goals. The body is controlled by the subconscious mind. This means that the body operates in a higher energy level when the subconscious mind is found in the same level, and vice versa. But, why is the subconscious mind naturally found in equilibrium or in the low energy level? It is naturally in equilibrium or in low energy level as a result of the stable nature of the chemical bonds found in biological molecules. Biological molecules are the building blocks of one's body. Stability of the molecules creates harmony with the information stored in the subconscious mind. These are generally the information received from our parents, from our environment, habits, culture, religion, etc. They are not the types of information that challenge the equilibrium status of the mind. Therefore, they create barriers instead. These pre-programmed information need to be substituted in order to be successful. But, how can the substitution be made? Since the pre-programmed information is at the lower energy level, its substitution by new information should demand an energy input or some work. This attribute demonstrates the main difference between human beings and other creatures. The decision to stay in the lower or higher energy level depends on the individual. Higher energy level means higher level of vibration, while the opposite refers to the low vibration level. The barriers written here are, in fact, the factors which contribute to and sustain the equilibrium force. These barriers, as identified from my study, are unawareness, conformity, and lack of vision, no change in mindset, culture, and religion. These main barriers form the basis for selecting the title of my book to be published as the top 6 barriers to success. The reason for limiting them to 6 is that the other barriers, generally cited as negative characteristics, are derived from the ones mentioned above. For example, fear occurs as a result of lack of vision. The other barriers which are lack of goal setting and inability to make decisions. The two depend on changing one's mindset. No one can set realistic goals and make decisions if his or her mindset is not changed. And mindset is changed when there is a strong vision. My research was focused on investigating why many people are not successful instead of trying to find out why few people are making it. The reason for the focus is that less than 5% may be considered successful out of a world population of about 7 billion people. Therefore, understanding the main universal obstacles or barriers and eliminating them is better than identifying the characteristics which made some few individuals successful. Secondly, this approach was taken because some of the successful individuals do not know or cannot even explain why and how they made it. However, all who made it must have overcome the barriers described in this podcast, either knowingly or unknowingly. Thirdly, by identifying and eliminating these barriers, the success characteristics will manifest themselves automatically. More episodes of this podcast will walk you through of, not only identifying the main barriers to success, but explaining why they occur, and also giving tips on how they can be reduced or eliminated so one can reach his or her maximum potential and attain success. Although some consider success a relative term, which may mean different things to different people, we will try to narrow it down to the context within which we are going to use it in this podcast. The dictionary defines success as a favorable outcome, doing what was desired or attempted, the attainment of wealth or fame or position. We shall link success to wealth since it is the most popular form of evaluating and comparing people. Secondly, fame and position cannot be sustained without wealth. Some people prefer to use the term financial independence to wealth. The two terms will be used interchangeably in the subsequent podcasts. Therefore, do not miss the subsequent podcasts that I will be posting. Finally, I wish everyone the best that life can offer. I would like to receive your comments. See you in my next podcast.